The landscape of college football could be healing quicker than you realize. Stick around. This is Way Offsides. What's going on, Way Offsides family? Cotton here. We got something really cool to talk about today. I'm really excited to get into it. If you followed us from the beginning, you know poor Bill. Everybody loves Bill for this reason and that reason. He's comedic relief. He's the guy we all pick on. But Bill, a few years ago, 2 years ago, actually, but when we were just on Spotify, before we had actually made the jump over to YouTube, made a comment about how he felt that college football was going to have to move towards a commissioner type model. Well, looks like Bill predicted the future because that is quickly, very quickly, what's happening. Before we get too far into it, please do the dang thing for me. Please like, subscribe, all the things. What we do is highly dependent on you. We can't bring more content if you're not subscribed. If you're not, leave a comment, leave a reaction on this video, tell you about us, and where to find us. Okay. Actually, I'm going to do this. Watch this. I'm going to make this little thing pretty up here. When you're showing your friend this video on your phone, they can just click that little QR code up there and it takes them right to us and they can subscribe themselves. Savvy, right? But anyway, we posted a video yesterday. We talked about it a little bit on After Dark. Also, you'll have to excuse me. I've got a little bit of a cold I'm working on, so I may cough a couple of times. I've got one coming right now. Pardon me. We talked yesterday about the breaking news that Donald Trump is forming a commission that is going to research and investigate college athletics, mainly regarding NIL, the transfer portal, even conference realignment, things like that, pretty much to try to clean up this mess that has been going on in college football. And it's a mess. Whether you like the sport, love the sport, it's recognizable to you or it's unrecognizable to you, it's a mess right now. I'm going to preface everything I'm about to say with saying that I think athletes should absolutely be compensated, especially ones that are generating millions of dollars for these major universities. But there have to be some guardrails, and the guardrails aren't to protect my team's roster. They're not to make my team better. They're to protect the student athlete, basically. The student athlete is supposed to be a student first, the whole purpose of the NCAA, and we all know that that's not the case anymore. So there has to be some parameters put in place here to solve this massive problem that the NCAA has created by opening the doors to NIL and not putting any rules, regulation, or policy in place. But never fear, ladies and gentlemen, college football's own superhero, Nick Saban, is here. As it was highly speculated, I even said in the video yesterday, a few hours before the news broke, the Atlantic broke the news. I think it was the Atlantic. Nick Saban will be a co-chair on said commission. Who didn't see that coming? I think most of us knew that was going to be the case. Nick Saban, even during his tenure as the head coach at the University of Alabama, spoke a lot at a higher echelon than what was just happening within his program. He spoke to the nature of the sport. A lot of times the media wrote what he was saying off his rants. He talked about the high octane, no huddle spread offense and how that was dangerous to players. We've seen sports injuries increase in some sense of the word because of that, right? Nick Saban said it. Hey, this is going to be a problem moving forward. And it was. And it still is today. So Coach Saban has been a voice, not just for the University of Alabama while he was at Alabama, but also for college football as a whole. He is an advocate for the sport. He loves the sport, and he loves the student athletes. I think Nick Saban's been very vocal about what it means to him to be a coach and a mentor to these young men when they come through his program, but also in terms of protecting college football, because college football absolutely 100% needs protecting. It's losing the traditional value that it once had, and it's losing it quickly because I can't go buy a jersey because I don't know if that player is going to be there next season, right? I don't know if that player is going to take $4 million and run. I don't know if this quarterback that I have, if his dad is going to give him poor counsel and he's going to transfer out to the West Coast because he's asking for way more money than he's worth. Right. And so the idea of this commission is to build some, or first of all, they're going to investigate. That is what was publicly said by those who understand what's going on in DC. They're going to investigate and research what's going on in college sports, not just football, but college sports. But we're going to talk about the football side. But you have to think that evaluation process will lead to some kind of outcome, and that outcome will be some implemental type change, which college athletics needs badly. I said on the video yesterday, college football as well as other college sports are kind of in limbo right now. They're in almost a purgatory. They don't know whether they're a semi-athletic, if it's supposed to be an academic thing, that nobody knows. And despite even some of these schools who are throwing 20, 30, $40 million into NIL money, their ADs are very boisterously saying, hey, this isn't sustainable. Yeah, we want to invest to win a national championship, but we can't do this every year. We can't spend $40 million every year. You know, Ohio State famously spent $20 million, won a national championship. Texas has been reported to have spent between $30 and $45 million on their roster this year. If they win a national championship, that only means that the number is going to go up from there, because now you're going to have to outbid that $30 to $45 million range. It's not sustainable. And what's going to happen is the have-nots are going to dwindle away. And you're going to seriously impact the financial sustainability of some college athletic departments. They're not going to be able to pay for themselves. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming quickly. So, you know, not everybody is given the same financial access as a university. And I know that fans like to say, well, it's not our fault. You know, get your money up. Sorry, you're poor, blah, blah, blah. You have to look at it. For a lot of schools, athletics are a huge moneymaker. I can say for myself, when I enrolled at Alabama, it was during the height of Nick Saban's tenure, right? The student body, the enrollee population there boomed around the time that I enrolled. I enrolled because I had just gotten out of the Army, but other people were enrolling strictly because Alabama was popular because of football. And so you had this huge financial boom of students who are coming in. They're spending financial aid, they're paying tuition, they're paying housing, all this stuff. They're buying football tickets. Well, what happens if that team starts going 6-6? Students don't want to go to school there, right? And then, you know, if it's a small school, unlike Alabama, that they can't sustain that long term. Even the big schools can't pay $45 million every single year to keep a competitive roster together. So Nick Saban, being the lobbyist that he is, who he spent a lot of time on the Hill, he spent a lot of time talking to the powers that be in Washington, D.C. about the problems with NIL and what's happening. We've seen him talk to Ted Cruz, seen him talk to a lot of people. He will co-chair this commission along with, I don't have his name in front of me, but it looks like a Texas A&M booster billionaire. And so they will co-chair together, which I think is interesting because that guy, he'll be able to talk more towards the financial aspects of things for these kids, what these contributions look like, the write-offs, how these boosters are pretty much affording to do what they're doing and keep some of these programs afloat. And when you look at, it's a great representation, because when you look at the states in terms of sports wealth, Texas has got to be, if they're not at the top of the list, they're within the top three. I would argue that they're probably at the top of the list because of oil. Texas is a very wealthy state. Florida would probably be one. They're a very, very, very wealthy state. But I think the bigger story here is that how fast this is happening. The news broke yesterday afternoon, and just a couple hours later, it broke that Nick Saban was going to be on this commission. And then just a couple hours later, it broke that this booster from A&M was going to be a co-chair with Nick Saban. And it's not a bad thing, guys. It's really not, because Alabama, or excuse me, college football, not just Alabama included, but college football is in desperate need of change, regulatory change, because there's nothing. It is, we always joke and say it's the Wild West right now, but it really, really is. And it's dangerous, not just for these universities, it's dangerous for these student athletes, because the majority of them aren't going to go to the next level and make millions of dollars. And so if a kid is getting, a $500,000 offer, and they don't make it to the league, and they blow all that money in college and never pay taxes on it, this and that, all of a sudden they're broke. They end up in prison. No one's doing anything about that. The NCAA damn sure isn't, which is so disheartening and disgusting to watch. What a discredit to that organization. It should be disbanded immediately, and I'm hoping that's what this commission will do. Will disband the NCAA. There's no purpose in the NCAA existing. They don't do anything worth a damn. They don't care about their student athletes. They care about their March tournament and make sure they make money from EA Sports. So it's really frustrating to watch it from the outside looking in, because I remember being a young man and having to learn fiscal responsibility with just normal average pay. I can't imagine having to learn fiscal responsibility, making the kind of money that some of these kids are making. And like Cam Newton or not, he said it best, like, this isn't long-term money, right? This isn't something that's long formed. It's very, it's a cohort. It's a snapshot. It's very right now. And so to see some of these kids who, you see some of these kids who aren't getting these giant NIL deals running around in Lambos and things like that. It's just, oof. So I'm happy to report that, yes, Nick Saban will be the co-chair of the new College Football Commission set forth by the President of the United States. He'll be a co-chair along with the Texas A&M booster. And with how rapidly things are working now, I fully expect there to be serious change on the horizon very quickly. It could be talking salary caps. We could be talking a lot of these different things. Now, this will be a months-long process. Nothing will happen leading into this year, but next year, I expect that evaluation to be complete, and there'll be some kind of implementation plan, sustainability model put in place for college football, which is what we need. That's all we ask for. You can pay whoever you like. Just put some guardrails up. Hey, if you didn't know, we have a website. We're working on it. That is not the right thing. There we go. Our first blog articles will go up this weekend. So be sure to check it out. Do some reading, some light reading. Sit on the patio Saturday morning with your cup of joe. It's supposed to storm down where I am, so listen to the rain and do some reading. So we'll be talking about a lot of things in the coming up weeks, projecting Alabama's depth charts. We'll be looking at what we realistically expect out of year two from Kalen DeBoer. We'll talk about individual position groups, a lot of different things in these blog articles. So you're not going to want to miss it. So make sure you know where to find it. And while you're at it, subscribe here, because we'll talk about all of those things here as well. We also have a live coming up tonight. We'll see you there. We're going to talk some recruiting. We're going to talk obviously more about this with the College Football Commission. So be there, 8 p.m. Central Time, right here on YouTube. So absolutely love each and every one of you. You guys are the best. We hope that you are being blessed in every way, shape, or form, because you're just amazing people. You keep us afloat, and you keep us coming back and doing this, and it's a pleasure. So you guys know what I'm about to say, but I got to say it. Please read your Bibles, say your prayers, wash your hands, horns down. Beat Auburn and LSU and Tennessee too. Roll Tide.